Yeah.
I know we're hitting the hour, but I want to talk about this with you because I had it in my queue. One of the questions I wanted to ask,
Yep.
which rather than just asking it rhetorically, um, if the internet had never been invented, what would you be doing right now?
Oh, I've got to say, because I'm still doing the YouTube thing after 12 years, I got to say, I'd still be doing the same thing I was doing pre YouTube, which would be writing magazine articles. I'd be selling kits. I'd still be well, maybe not kits. I'd be selling finished products. Maybe I'd get sick of the kits or something, or kits would naturally die out as they have. I don't know. I'd probably be like a mini Adafruity. Well, no, because they're all internet. Their whole stick is that everything's on the internet, right? All the information's on the internet. So,
You'd have to
oh,
be publishing a catalog.
I almost before this blog, I thought about publishing my own electronics magazine. I almost did it. I started
Hmm.
writing some articles and stuff for my own so maybe I would have got into the magazine publishing business.
Hmm.
Maybe.
Hmm.
I don't know, but I'd still be at least writing articles. I'd be selling kits. I'd have my own side hustle business, selling kits and stuff. And if there was no internet, yeah, I'd be advertising my stuff or publishing my articles. Yeah, I'd still be doing that.
Yeah, probably the
Yep.
same. I think
Yep.
I think I'd still be. I'd probably have a cable access show, and
Right.
I'd
Yeah.
probably be selling my goofy film productions through the magazines, and
Mhm.
still. Well, if they would have never invented the internet, then assuming we'd still be doing linear editing on tape. So
Yes,
I'd probably
right.
still be doing that. Yeah, because that's the
Yeah,
other
I
thing.
don't
Without the internet, we wouldn't
mm,
have had digital non-linear editing
mm,
wouldn't have come about. It wouldn't have been
yeah.
very popular. So
I
yeah,
I would never have got into video because I was never into film or video, like, I was never into photography or video or anything like that. We were just too poor to have a video camera. So, yeah, I probably would never maybe I would have I don't know. I can't see myself getting into the video, I can't say without seeing other people do it. The reason I did the YouTube thing is because I saw other people doing YouTube, and I thought, oh, maybe I could do like an engineering one, you know. So there wouldn't have been any motivation there to start up a video thing. I don't think. So
I'm going to take
yeah,
a leap and suggest that I think that if the internet had not been invented, that rather than your huge EEVblog lab, you would have a humongous train setup, like a big train platform.
probably.
Because
That's yeah, yeah,
if the internet hadn't been invented, then trains would still be a big thing. Like train
yep,
stores would still be a big thing.
yep,
Because all the brick
totally,
and mortar stores, the Radio Shacks,
yep.
the hobby stores, the big train
Hmm.
stores, the big model stores, all those places would still
Yes.
be
Oh
alive
yes,
without the
yes, they
internet.
would.
And all
Yep,
the
totally.
culture that was around
Yep.
them. The
Yep.
slot racing places that, used
Mhm.
to have like people would buy up like a storefront
Mm.
and build a huge the slot racing tracks in there,
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
I've
that
got
stuff
my
would still
videos of my
exist.
local hobby, shop, shutting down, and I scored their big, train set
Yeah.
from there and stuff like that, and yeah, that was sad, but then again, the other question is, what would happen if there was the internet, but no e-commerce? What if nobody had you had invented the internet, so you share information, but you couldn't buy anything online. Nobody invented the secure hashy, thing it's called that
Like if like
enabled
if uh,
e-commerce.
like if
There
credit
was
cards hadn't been invented but the internet had. Like with the idea of
well,
if like it was a
yeah,
cash
you would still
economy.
yeah, you would no, you would still yeah, you still have to manually process the credit card with
Yeah.
the swiper type, the slider thing.
It's hard
Um,
to that's a hard leap to make only because in my own mind money is such an easy construct
hmm,
uh, in any form. The internet not being so easy a construct to fathom. I mean, honestly,
hmm.
it's very easy. It's very easy to imagine the internet never happening. Because
Yeah, totally.
the only reason it did happen was just because that there was an unusual government intervention during the Clinton administration, they actually like did something that governments aren't supposed to do, and they actually like put a lot of money into the idea of building a World Wide Web. It probably it could have very easily just stayed a university military
It could
thing.
have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. We'd still be dialing up bulletin boards and, yep.
Well, that wasn't so bad.
No, I had great fun, you know? Oh, damn, I'm gonna have to call back, it's busy. This BBS sucks, it's only got 8 lines or whatever, you can't.
Well,
Yeah, maybe I might have been running my own BBS. Maybe. I might have
yeah.
been, yeah,
It
doing
goes
that,
back
it's
to
hard to know.
the whole halt and catch fire, sort of that
Oh,
brief
yeah,
moment of
right.
time,
Yep, yep.
slight,
That's terrific.
slightly fictionalized. I
Oh,
don't,
yes, of course.
I don't really remember it being that exciting. or
No, no,
that,
it's not that exciting, no, it's incredibly boring.
um, but
Yep,
yeah,
those were
it's,
the days.
but what I really regret about, I mean, you and I, we make our living and build our lives around
Mm,
this thing,
yes, yeah, we
but,
have.
but the loss of the culture that
Mm,
that culture that used to exist, of, like I said, those the retail those retail stores like the Heathkit stores and the Radio
mhm,
Shacks and everything, where you would go to talk about stuff with other human beings that were right there,
mm, yep,
and show things off that you built,
yep,
and just that that's
mm.
never coming back.
No, no,
We're
it's
never
not.
getting it back.
I can remember being in, one of the, shops in the city here, and, yeah, and they sold kits and everything, and one of them happened to be my kit, somebody there, I was just in there hanging around, and then somebody said, "Oh, and check out this oscilloscope kit. I love this." And I went, "Yeah, it's mine." And then we just started yapping on for ever about the design of the thing and the software and everything else. And yep, yep, those were the days. It was very local. It was more local. Like as I said before, if the e-commerce thing hadn't have happened, the e-commerce enabled global trade and commerce. Whereas if you still had to accept like the credit card, swipey type, did that work internationally? I don't think I ever
I,
bought
I,
something internationally on credit card before the
no, I
internet.
think
It was,
yeah, the international commerce really, I think that's very strangely
mm,
recent, because it wasn't until
yep,
those intermediary companies like PayPal and stuff came in to
right,
actually
yeah, yep,
transfer currency. It
mm,
really was, because
and it was
was PayPal
hard.
was PayPal the first, one they were one of the first
It was
to,
one of the
to do
first. I don't think it was, yeah,
international,
yeah. It
but
was
it
the one
wasn't.
that became popular.
Yeah, but until those intermediate companies, those
Mm,
exchange rate companies that would
yep,
exchange like pounds for dollars or
mm,
marks, or be able to do it,
yep,
commerce from one currency to another, and
mm,
and make that happen. Yeah, it was very unusual to buy something, with a country that had a different
mm.
currency. I don't. To honestly, I never bought anything internationally back in those days. I don't really know how it was done. I
Yeah,
imagine it would have been just you put
same
cash
here.
in an envelope
Yeah, and
and
right.
hope that they wouldn't just take it.
Yep,
There was a
I
lot of
know.
trust in those days. A
Oh,
lot of
yeah,
crazy
totally. I
trust.
would, yeah. The amount of cash I got in the mail is just phenomenal, you know? It's just nuts. Yeah, physical cash, just shipped to my home address. And
That's the other
please send me a kit.
that's the other thing. People today don't realize that back in like 20 years ago, buying anything, you were writing off 100% of what you were putting
Mm,
in the mail that you might not
yeah.
ever
You
see.
you might not
The
see it
thing,
again. Yep, totally. Yep. But
and
people were honest. I don't remember ever getting ripped off.
hmm,
I can't I don't think so. That's
yeah,
interesting. And I can remember, back this is I think it might have been pre-PayPal. I was selling kits on my website, and it was just, I wanted to accept, credit cards, and of course, it wasn't easy. Like, so I, had to call up my local bank, and then a bank representative came out. It was at my company at the time, so we went in the conference room, and I sort of pretended to be all professional and everything. And and here we are trying to negotiate, basis points rates for the credit card commission and all this sort of stuff and all the red tape that you had to go through to set up the to accept credit cards. And then PayPal came along and it just changed everything. You put your credit card in once and they did. It wasn't just the currency transfer, it was the fact that you could put your credit card in to them and then it'd pay through that, so you could use them as an intermediary. Now we have Stripe and other third party players like that. But back then you had to deal with the bank. The bank had to give you a merchant facility, it was called, and then they would physically give you a swiping machine as well, and it was a real huge deal.
Wasn't PayPal originally? It came out of eBay, correct? What wasn't eBay and PayPal?
They were tied together. eBay purchased PayPal.
Okay.
They purchased them. They
But
originally
then
integrated and then they
but then they
purchased
had
it,
to split.
and then they had to split them once they sold off PayPal. Yeah, once, and then that changed everything. Once you
Yeah.
didn't have to get a merchant facility at a bank to accept credit cards as a business, and it was changed everything. So I think it'd still be local. I think if there was no e-commerce, everything would still be fair. Although people would find ways around that, I guess. Once you've got the internet opened, international flow of information, I guess naturally the credit stuff and the money stuff and the credit stuff would naturally happen. But I don't know.
Hmm.
That's interesting. Yeah, if nobody ever invented, because for a long time that was the thing. There was a lot of pundits saying you would never be able to do online shopping because nobody had cracked. I can't remember the guy's name, but he came along and published this paper, and he actually cracked. Is it the two? What's the? There's a name of the algorithm that allows it. Is it the one-time pad? I'm not sure, but anyway, there's a secure. He actually cracked no, it was the public private key thing. So before public and private keys were invented, you could not do online commerce. You just couldn't do it. There's no way to do it securely, so nobody did it. And once that technology was cracked, bingo, it exploded. So if that didn't happen, that's another interesting historical path that we could have taken.
Yeah.
Because the internet was always going to happen. Well, it always was there, right? In terms of dial-up BBSs, you could share it. It was just hard,
It's sort of been there since the tendrils of it began in the '60s, right? With the
of course.
So
yep.
But yeah, it's an interesting alternate reality. I'm waiting for them to start the new season of For All Mankind, and
right.
I'll wait to see what happens with my shows that have been on hiatus for forever.